Biafrans, as we are hitting the raw truth. Now we are hitting the raw truth. A lot of things has happened both in Edo State, in Uromi. The whole Nigeria is shaking. But since we started releasing this kind of news, Nigeria has never been touched to the way it is today. This news from Banjo came long time ago, more than 6 years ago. And today, one of their members who is being trained under them has come to reclaim
fellow
exactly
Nigerians. Kunchikutuma
their
Buro
plan.
Ubanku, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens of the country, and you must honor them and honor their cow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will invade your farm, kill your wife, destroy the means of your livelihood, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will rape your wives, steal, kidnap you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And anytime you touch any means of their livelihood or you touch any of them, there will be justice for the Fulanis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens and you are inferior. Their cow is better than you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now get that into your tick score. Tozo, there is nothing you can do about it because Fulanis are the #1 citizens. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
After destroying you, they are not going to compensate anybody. The government will compensate nobody. We will compensate nobody. And if you touch them, we will send the soldiers after you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Kachikutuma Buro Ubanku.
Nanu ogunde Fulani. So limi bu wana atucha sende Fulani. Nanu ogunde Fulani. Nebunde Fulani. Naka nusu ogun nata na mampo musi na onya Fulani kambo. Na bu onya Fulani kambo. Bro na nda kina agwamia. Manga mare be mesu atucha be na mkita boy Fulani. Wana atu solo bu wana atucha sende Fulani ni na. Onwe bro na nda kita kaka mesu malo dia language. Wana chi malo ndebu munnem na kwase na mkita. Wablo kita kina agwamia. Nambu Fulani. Manga goromia ni goromia sisi ano kita ntobuta lunro na kita ke gomle Fulani kambo.
Now, lovely Biafrans, as we have this time, we want to just share a little of past history and the past experiences. If you join us here, try to share as well. The war has become global. It is not matter of who has oil and who doesn't have oil. This is a global plan, and you have heard it here. Their masters have said it long time ago that what Nigerians don't know is that a single cow is more valuable than 100 people found in Nigeria. We have shown you people here when Fulanis are trying to give citizenship to their cows.
Buro Ubanku, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Nobody.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens of the country, and you must honor them and honor their cow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will invade your farm, kill your wife, destroy the means of your livelihood, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will rape your wives, steal, kidnap you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And anytime you touch any means of their livelihood or you touch any of them, there will be justice for the Fulanis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens and you are inferior. Their cow is better than you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now get that into your tick score.
You know why we are showing this now? Get that into your tip depth score. They are telling you right away. All the people Fulanis has killed in Nigeria, nobody is coming and calling them for justice. Get that direct. When we posted this thing in our archive, in our Facebook, some people are still saying up to this day that they are making noise. But the reality is all you are seeing. And why do we come here now is this. America is asking, can Christianity survive in Nigeria? That is a powerful question. And many people think that we are still here to be talking about Ngozi Orabueze and all those things. There's no time for that anymore. And what you will ask yourself, the people inside Washington, D.C., all the congressmen in Washington, D.C., speaking about Biafra today, are they being motivated by who? Who is motivating them? And there is no other person motivating them except the bridge. The acting prime minister is making American congressmen to stand up and keep speaking concerning the people found inside Nigeria. That's why they ask here now, can Christianity survive in Nigeria? And that news now is what we are about to bring. We need to bring it out so that our people the people who really want to know, if they want to know, they will know. If they want to know how to follow the story, they will know how to follow the story. If they do not know how to follow the story,
trip to Africa,
that is up to them. And here is the news we come to show you today, this very afternoon, from Marco Ruben and Marco Rubio. Every one of you might know and remember when Anthony Blinken removed Nigeria out of CPC. And this is what Trump has come to restore. And the congressmen you are seeing with our acting prime minister today, his job he dedicates on making sure that Nigeria is back to the CPC, countries that is killing Christian. And when we finish this one, we will also let you know why Elias Garasores, the chief of the lobby, took it upon himself to be educating the Biafrans. We have it here in our record. Some of the Fulanis been given birth by Igbo mothers. They found out that they are Fulani, and you can see the grief inside the guy. How proud he has become knowing that his father is Fulani. He is asking, how then is he going to recognize his father, speak their language, and try to know his cousins and relatives? But this is a guy who has been growing up as an Igbo person. So every day a news is coming. Every day news is coming. The reason of this news, you see it here. 24 U.S. organization petition Anthony Blinken for designate Nigeria as a CPC over mass killing of Christians. This happens, and here is the news. As you are watching us, you are watching from 555 Vision, Biafran Gospel, and the Bible. The meeting you saw our acting prime minister the other day, this meeting, because here we like to preach our gospel with a lot of evidences. The day of this meeting, when they had this meeting was based on how to bring Nigeria back to CPC. And this is the beginning of how to start the recognition of Biafra. This meeting you saw here, because everything is under template. Everything is not about making mouth and laying curse on people, insulting people. Things is template. If Christians cannot survive in Nigeria, that means here you have to then hear
Secretary of State Anthony Blinken stopped in Nigeria and met with then President Muhammadu Buhari. What came next was a betrayal of religious freedom. As Buhari, who came to prominence for his role killing Christians and animists during the 1967 to 1970 Biafra genocide, again turned to fanning sectarian violence. Blinken removed Nigeria from the State Department's Religious Freedom Watch list. For Blinken, a warm handshake and photo opportunity was more important than defending religious freedom. Not surprisingly, Nigeria then began accelerating its anti-Christian pogroms. Secretary of State Marco Rubio works not only in President Donald Trump's but also in envoy Steve Witkoff's shadow. At best, he is the B-team on crafting foreign policy. Still, even if the Trump's treatment of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky humiliated Rubio, he can still salvage his legacy by returning religious freedom to the central framework with which U.S. diplomats shape policy. Here, Nigeria should be a case in point. The country is diverse. It is slightly over half Muslim, 1/3 Protestant, and 1/10 Roman Catholic. Over the years, both Christians and Muslims have served as president, although for the last decade, the post has been exclusively Muslim. Religion is not determinative, but in the case of both Buhari and his successor Bola Tinubu, their religious embrace is more exclusionary and discriminatory. While Buhari targeted Christians and turned a blind eye both to Boko Haram in northern Nigeria and Fulani militias terrorizing Christians in the country's southeast, it was Tinubu who crafted the policies and ensured party discipline as the communal violence accelerated. Blinken's strategy was to ignore the plight of the Christians and to pretend there was no crisis of religious freedom, despite near-daily reports of Boko Haram terrorism or slaughter of Igbo. Nigerian authorities viewed him as a clown and accelerated their repression. Rubio should take a different tack. If Nigeria is becoming a structure used to target minorities and repress religious freedom, then the policy of the United States should be to question whether Nigeria's current structure is the solution or the problem. While Nigeria won its independence from the British 65 years ago, decolonization is not complete because it preserved Nigeria itself as a colonial vestige. Rather than ignore the slow but imminent demise of Nigeria's Christian under the current regime, Rubio should make clear, if Nigeria is unable to treat its citizens equally and allow them to worship freely, then the United States will approach Nigeria as if it is a colonial power and support its decolonization. Specifically, the United States should begin direct outreach to Biafra, the breakaway region subject to genocide more than a half-century ago that again declared its independence in November 2024. This likely would not be immediate, but the United States could support observer missions to document the safety of Biafrans and also sponsor a plebiscite, not unlike that which confirmed Bahrain's desire 55 years ago to be an independent country rather than join Iran as the Shah at the time demanded. Trump refuses to allow artificial diplomatic constraints confine him. Rubio should not allow them to be a cause for the eradication of what once was one of Africa's most vibrant Christian communities, but one that is today under threat. It is time to give Nigeria an ultimatum. End attacks on Christians or lose default support for Nigeria as a unified entity. Nigerian authorities.
Now, fellow Biafrans, I believe many people is connecting the dots concerning the meeting you are watching here, the picture, and here in 555 Vision, we always say that a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. Meaning, some of these images are reminders of the past. They are reminders of the past. And here, Marco Rubio and Marco Rubio is now focusing on the meeting which our acting prime minister joined them to hold the other day. And the news also carried it. The news also carried it. Bridge push for U.S. recognition, engage lawmakers, which everybody is watching, and how it is unfolding. That is what we are revealing here now. All these are the diplomatic movements which every one of us is expecting to see. These diplomatic movements which everybody is expecting to see. And as you know, the war has entered Edo. Everybody knows. They are now rising up. Now, Bridge relays U.S. lawmakers Washington, D.C. for Biafra recognition. This is now the process of Biafran recognition, and nothing happens by force. It is template on template. A na-eji anụ egbe n'aka tupu ajụọ nwaanyị dị ime ọ ga-eri ka ọ na ọ mari. That is what you are seeing here now. And as now they have started to ask, can Christianity survive in Nigeria? The answer is no. Christianity cannot survive in Nigeria. And
authorities viewed him as a clown and accelerated their repression. Rubio should take a different tack. If Nigeria is becoming a structure used to target minorities and repress religious freedom, then the policy of the United States should be to question whether Nigeria's current structure is the solution or the problem. While Nigeria won its independence from the British 65 years ago, decolonization is not complete because it preserved Nigeria itself as a colonial vestige. Rather than ignore the slow but imminent demise of Nigeria's Christian under the current regime, Rubio should make clear, if Nigeria is unable to treat its citizens equally and allow them to worship freely.
Now, Rubio, the person who represents Anthony Blinken, Rubio, I'm trying to know if I have his picture here with our APM. Rubio is in this place. Then Rubio has to make it clear if Christians will survive in Nigeria. And the answer is no. Look at a lot of evidences that is against Nigerian way of life, Nigerian system, and a lot of things they are doing. When they are talking about a diplomatic movement is what you are seeing, and the bridge led by our acting Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere has taken the battle all by himself. Now, we listen to it once again. We will then go to the chief of the lobby, who is making everything possible. You remember, he is under divine providence. The job he is doing, when he came to help Biafrans, he says that he is not just coming to work as a lobby, but he is coming to work as a freedom fighter as well. That's why he devotes his own time teaching Biafrans what they should know. And now he has gone towards the chronology of the problem the Biafrans are having, the Igbos are having, the ideology of divide and rule, how all this separation starts. Before now, everything was okay until we went to Finland, return. before the shenanigan of Ngozi Arabeze started. All this thing then pushed all the people that is in line to recognize Biafra, they pushed them backward. And here, the congressmen, they already know the agreement they have with our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. And the chief of the lobby, Elia, says they are already in agreement that he is not going to betray our Prime Minister, whether he is in or he is out. Moreover, now is the time he will show him more love, more support. And that's why he is here teaching Biafrans. The second episode is what is behind here now. How you, Biafra Nigerians, that is Igbo Nigerians, and how the original Biafrans are, the differences, and whoever that doesn't know the differences between Igbo Nigerians, Biafran Nigerians, and the real lovers of freedom. If you don't know this, you can never be able to know how to work with them. And that's why he has started this teaching, which we are going to touchlight a little because of the time we have. We listen to Marco Rubin. Marco Rubin is the third powerful man in America. And if you are in a doubt a little, here is also Marco Rubin. You can see Marco Rubin with our acting prime minister. You can see Marco Rubin with our acting prime minister. Now, there are anything you need to be free. The information is getting right direct into the ear of Donald Trump. If you are trying to understand what is cooking and what is going on, all the right-hand men of Donald Trump, all of them are with the bridge. All the right-hand men of Donald Trump, every one of them is with Ogechukwu Nkere, the Biafran acting prime minister. Now, who is holding you to be free? You are the one holding yourself to be free, because a small wind can blow and that wind will take you away. And before you will be able to return to your senses, a lot of time has gone. This wind blew during the time of Ojukwu, and Ojukwu has to go to exile. This wind blew during the time of Owazirike. Owazirike have to succumb because his military was betrayed him. This wind blew during the time of DOS and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And the wind now blow right in front of every one of us, the wind of Ngozi Arabeze. And many of you are still running Heta-Sketa. And you are reading today in the INSA International News, speaking about Biafra and the unity of Nigeria.
Then the United States will approach Nigeria as if it is a colonial power and support its decolonization. Specifically, the United States should begin direct outreach to Biafra, the breakaway region subject to genocide more than a half-century ago that again declared its independence in November 2024. This likely would not be immediate. But the United States could support observer missions to document the safety of Biafrans and also sponsor a plebiscite. Not unlike that which confirmed Bahrain's desire 55 years ago to be an independent country rather than join Iran as the Shah at the time demanded. Trump refuses to allow artificial diplomatic constraints confine him. Rubio should not allow them to be a cause for the eradication of what once was one of Africa's most vibrant Christian communities, but one that is today under threat. It is time to give Nigeria an ultimatum. End attacks on Christians or lose default support for Nigeria as a unified entity.
It is time to end Nigeria. It is time. And what do you think will make it difficult? You will be the one that will make it difficult. That's why Elias Gerasaurus, the chief of the lobby, came to give teachings on what you should do, things you should know, how to react and how to behave.
Biafra Republic government in exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Mekere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world, to those in positions of power, especially...
Listen to what he said. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the powerful people of this world. Do you want to see evidences? If we start here now to show pictures, some people called us, some people say that the only thing we know how to do is to show pictures. And these are the kind of criticism you can hear from people. A picture is an evidence of fact in a simple translation. A picture is an evidence of fact because a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. He says, listen on your own, with your own ear.
For Republic government in exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Mekere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world.
I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world. Is he doing it? The answer is yes.
To those in positions of power, especially in this...
To those who is in the position of power. To those who is in the position of power. And you can see it here. The people in the position of power are speaking on your own behalf that Nigeria unity is questionable. To those who is in the position of power. Remember, you are listening from...
Slow but imminent demise of Nigeria's Christian under the current regime. Rubio should make clear, if Nigeria is unable to treat its citizens equally and allow them to worship freely.
Now, the people who is in the position of power are the people now who is asking Rubio. Rubio, if you look up here, you will see Rubio here now. This is Rubio with the APM and the Biafran Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is them. The person who represents Anthony Blinken. Our lobby has delivered the information to the powerful people of the world. And remember, when we were here teaching Biafrans, we are not teaching because you don't know. We are dedicated to do the job to Biafrans. And what do we say? These lobbies are the people that is studied to carry some certain document to present to the powerful people of the world. The agitation you are doing is motivation of freedomness. But agitation cannot give you freedom. The people that will give you freedom are the people who is sitting on the seat of power. And before these people will listen to you, you need to have a diploma that permits you to meet them and they drop your document on top of their table. That is what he meant in this place. We continue. That's what he meant in this place. People in the position of power.
This great country, the United States of America. This is my second broadcast to follow up on my first broadcast where I discussed the need of Biafrans to change their I'm the king, I'm the queen syndrome. Many Biafrans appreciated this broadcast, and even those who were angry or upset because I spoke the truth and touched a raw nerve. Not only will I continue to touch that raw nerve, but I will hit aggressively that raw nerve to the point where all Biafrans wake up. you should view these broadcasts not only as a mirror to the zoo, but also to yourselves, because we need to save Biafrans not only from the zoo, but also from themselves and their own self-destructive tendencies. So today, my broadcast will be full of fire and brimstone. I will be causing more controversy because I will be providing a psychological analysis of the Igbo or Biafran one Nigerianist, those who are completely against Biafra independence, completely against what we're doing, people who attack us on a daily basis. I've carefully studied their psychology, their heart, their soul, their mindset, and I've come to a few conclusions or observations. From what I can see so far, there are several categories of Biafrans. There are those who are part of our movement, support Biafran independence. There are the ardent Biafran one Nigerianists, and there are also those who are not opposed to what we're doing, but are on the sidelines. And this third group or last group will be discussed in a separate broadcast. It is remarkable how there can be people from the same place or live in the same place and exist in completely different realities. Why would someone be against their own liberation or self-determination? Do they not see the threat posed to them by the Fulani and the Islamic fundamentalists? What's going on? Firstly, I believe one of the underlying behaviors of the Biafrans who are attached to this one.
Fellow Biafrans that is here now, it is obvious you have watched this message, but why is it unique that we have to analyze it today? Listen, in the Igbo adage, they used to say, Onye na anoro ebe anoli ozu, ifsi ya jebo ojesi n'ụkwụ. That means anyone that doesn't understand the deep part of your problem can never cure your problem. That's why he said he took his time, study the origin, the Biafran people, the origin of the problem Biafran people are having. He have been able to fix it out, figure it out. Then he began to give you what he called psychological teaching and the psychological analysis, how to understand and how to come across all these things. Meanwhile, the people that is to save you are ready. Many of you that was in Finland with us, you saw Dr. Dodge there. What did Dr. Dodge say? Dr. Dodge says that you are the one who is suffering in Nigeria. You are the one who is being persecuted. That what you are passing through and what you are suffering, them in America doesn't suffer and they have not been able to undergo such life. But now their own country is free. But if you want them to come and help you, go home, be together, come to Washington, D.C., deliver your problem to us, then we can be able to sit down and know how to help you. We know that you need help. That's why he said here that he has spoken to the powers of this world and those in the seat of power. Every one of them is waiting that Biafran should come because the one cow found in Nigeria, one cow found in Nigeria is more valuable than 100 of you. That's why they will kill you. Nobody will ask a question. That's why they will rape you. Nobody will ask a question. That's why somebody's mother will tell him that he is a
fellow Nigerians. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the number one citizens of the country, and you must honor them and honor their cow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will invade your farm, kill your wife, destroy the means of your livelihood, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will rape your wives, steal kidnap you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And anytime you touch any means of their livelihood or you touch any of them, there will be justice for the Fulanis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens and you are inferior. Their cow is better than you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now get that into your tick score. Tozo, there is nothing you can do about it because Fulanis are the #1 citizens. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
After destroying you, they are not going to compensate anybody. The government will compensate nobody. We will compensate nobody. And if you touch them, we will send the soldiers after you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
That is the news. It has circulated all over the world. And nobody is coming when they are killing you. Nobody is coming when they are raping your brothers and your mother and your sister, because Sultan of Sokoto said that he can't afford to lose 23 oil well found in Biafran land. Just because of Biafra. He said he won't allow anyone to divide Nigeria. And if you know the reason this guy cried in this bitter voice, this guy cried in this bitter voice, is because of the privilege Fulanis has taken in Nigeria. Can you really see the anger inside this guy for his mother to tell him that his father is Fulani? You can read the anger in his face. He has already realized, and he said he has been fighting this Fulani because Fulanis, they have this blood of killing. Igbos doesn't have the blood of killing. This is the reality. Igbos have power to harm their own brothers because the agenda of Usman Danfodio transformed their mentality to that level that them Igbos must hate themselves. That is divide and rule. The ideology of divide and rule. That is what you see in Igbo land. That the Igbo person will harm Igbo person. They will say, no, the Igbo man will get up and they destroy the Igbo man. Go and check in Anambra State. Go and check in Igbo land. Igbo person will do something. Maybe you take your banana from somebody. Igbo people will come immediately, put tire on that person, kill the person, and the person will die instantly. Then, but when these Fulanis do the same thing, the same security that he caught his own Igbo brother and they kill him, will then take the Fulani, Yoruba or Hausa, they will hand them over to police for a second life. That is the danger inside what this guy now said. And the reason Elias Grasores took it upon himself to be educating Biafrans. There are differences of Biafra in this world. There are Biafra Nigeria, there are Igbo Nigeria, concept and everything.
Is the problem of the I'm bigger than my neighbor syndrome. Now, what do I mean by this? In Biafra land, there's a phenomenon I've read about where wealthy Biafrans build mansions in their hometowns which they never even lived in. I've read about this. I've watched videos about this. Why is this? This is so bizarre. Why do you build a house you don't even live in the house? Because there is an obsessive need among some of our Biafran brothers and sisters to show off. I've seen this obsession with showing off in my own personal experience. To provide a personal anecdote, I was aware of one situation where a Biafran lady, whom I personally know and will not name by name, went around telling everyone about how expensive and great her shoes were, telling everyone and their mother about how expensive her shoes were, and then also about how everything she does is perfect and so on and so forth. So this is not hypothetical. I've seen this firsthand with my own eye. As such, these wealthy or successful Biafrans, they get high. They get intoxicated when showing themselves off and their wealth. They start to float to the clouds, just like those who believe they are the king or they are the queen, who misinterpret the original phrase of there's no king or queen in Biafra land, and they start to think that they are the king and they are the queen, and they are superior and so on and so forth. So the problem is in the mindset of these people, what is the point of Biafra when I get to show off to everyone how rich I am and how superior I am? I have 2 Mercedes. My neighbors don't have anything. So what's the point of Biafra? I build a home that I don't even live in so everyone can just see how rich I am. So why is Biafra needed? Because of this, these Biafrans are so blind, they can't see the existential danger that the Fulani and the Islamic fundamentalists pose right underneath their own nose. So let me explain the situation to you, the Biafran one Nigerianists who are listening. And I want you to listen very, very carefully to what I have to say to you. The Islamic fundamentalists have taken over the north of Nigeria. Previously, you had the Hausa Fulani people. Now they're just the Fulani. The Fulani have swallowed the Hausa. These Islamic fundamentalists have moved from the north into the southwest and now are targeting the Yoruba. You have a Muslim ticket leading the country, including a vice president who played an instrumental role in the rise of Boko Haram. There has been Islamic fundamentalist capture of the Nigerian state, the Nigerian military at all levels. According to an article in the Nigerian Punch newspaper in January of 2025, again, not my opinion, this is the newspaper in Nigeria, and I quote, leaders of pan-Yoruba groups representing artisans, workers, students, community-based groups, traders, professional, and self-determination groups have jointly expressed their opposition against the move to introduce Sharia law in Yoruba land. So this is not simply a matter of terrorist groups and Fulani herders killing Biafrans or people in Nigeria, which again is an ongoing and serious issue. This is also a matter of systematic takeover of the entire country by radical Islamic fundamentalists. If the Islamic fundamentalists take over Yoruba land, obviously the next and the last target will be Biafra land. Many of the Islamic fundamentalists have openly...
Are you getting the key point? We've been here preaching this gospel long time ago. There are messages when Mazen Namdekano reviewed the real agenda of the Fulanis. We played it here, that they want to capture Middle Belt, that the Hausa land has been captured. Then Middle Belt has been captured. After they capture the Yoruba land, which is Muslim ticket, then the next place for them to capture will be the hinterland of Biafra, where the stubborn people are, which are the Igbos. Some people will agree, some people will not agree. They say this will be the last place. Then ask yourself, what is happening in Uromi? What is happening in Edo State today? All the things we've been talking about, a lot of people from Edo State, they begin to attack us. A lot of people from River State, they say, yes, because of their oil. Now, everybody is crying over the Fulanis. It has circulated and the real game have just started. Then we continue, please.
Express this, that when they are finished with the Yorubas, their next target and their final target will be the Biafrans. And there are those federal politicians in Nigeria who openly express their desire for the entire country to be under Sharia law, which again would include Biafra. There have been efforts, including even last year, to expand Sharia law throughout the entire country. Now, that effort last year in the national legislature in Nigeria did not succeed, but if Nigeria continues on its current trajectory, that will be the reality at some point. There will be Sharia law imposed on a federal level. Sharia will come to Biafra land. So if we do not we've declared Biafra, but if we now do not restore Biafra, everyone in Biafra land will be under Sharia. And what
we declared Biafra, but if we do not restore Biafra by international community, international recognition, then the consequences is high. That's what you're talking about now.
What I'm telling you is something that I'm very, very confident in. This is going to happen if we don't take the necessary actions. And in places in Nigeria that are already under Sharia, children are having their limbs chopped off, their limbs amputated. I read a story of a 12-year-old boy who had both of his arms cut off for allegedly stealing an item. I mean, this is barbarism at the highest levels. So when Biafra is under Sharia, you will all be subject to Sharia, regardless of how rich you are. There's no provision in Sharia law which says if you're worth more than $1 million or if you own Mercedes or what have you, that you are exempt from Sharia law. So as such, at that point, will it really matter that you own multiple Mercedes or big houses that you don't even live in if you're under such a circumstance? Many of the Biafran One Nigerianists discuss having a great Igbo land within Nigeria, or having an economically strong a la Igbo within Nigeria. Absolute nonsense, complete rubbish, garbage.
Many of you may be understanding what he is talking about. That some people like all this Obi Kubano them, all this E-money them, all these people who is gallivanting. Atoeze, for example, Babangida made him whom he is. Meaning, automatically, the children and the grandchildren of Babangida is far better than Atoeze. The children and the grandchildren of Babangida is far better than Atoeze. And the Atoeze happens to become the most richest person in Igbo land. Are you getting it? With all the mansion, all these people you see now doing big boy as if they are richer than Ogenkere or they are richer than Simon Eba. No, they are there because of the mentality Fulanis instilled inside them. Now he is asking, when all these things started, this guy is telling you with all the news that surrounds it,
is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens of the country, and you must honor them and honor their cow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will invade your farm, kill your wife, destroy the means of your livelihood, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will rape your wives, steal, kidnap you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And anytime you touch any means of their livelihood or you touch any of them, there will be justice for the Fulanis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What he is saying, is there anything to argue about it? I believe the answer is no. This is critical thinkers. Now, henchmen will overthrow King of Nero of Enugu State soon and install Emir of Enugu State. It is happening. They are already in your land. It is happening. They are already in your land. After Enugu, followed by Imo State and the Anambra State. Is it happening or no? It is happening. Your state have no governors. All of them are puppets under Fulani. Now, the chief of the lobby, who is your speaker to the last zone of this world, which is Washington, D.C., knows your problem.
First of all, it is a fallacy to think you can make Biafra into another Dubai, which is what these Biafran One Nigerians talk about. Within the constructs of a failing Nigerian state, which is quickly becoming like another Somalia. What affects the whole affects the part. In order to have this so-called economic Biafra, you also need political and geopolitical independence. This is basic logic. This is basic reason. That's the problem with you people whose brains have been broken by the zoo. You can't reason. You can't logic. You know, that is why I'm doing these broadcasts, to help you people logic and reason in order to think more sensibly, more reasonably.
You know, everything he is saying here now, you remember that Ngozi Orabueze and co generalize all the lobbies speaking for Biafrans as criminals. She generalized every one of them, and they call them
ex-British cabinet members, the criminal lobbyists
criminals
that are parading with them in the name of trying to restore Biafra. Biafrans already stopped them on their track. That is why they don't go. They can't move anywhere. Not when some, not when some of us are.
Now, are you understanding what is happening here now?
Ex-British cabinet members, the criminal lobbyists
exactly
that are parading with them.
That is where she gets everything wrong. And this message here now is the message that is speaking for you in front of the whole world. You need recognition because Fulanis have taken absolute control. Then you need extra power, which he is doing, and no other person can do it than him.
And I'm hoping that with these broadcasts, we could reset the brains of many of you people who just cannot think properly, who think rubbish, who think nonsense. So furthermore, right, even if you could achieve this economic Igbo land fantasy within Nigeria, which is not possible, but even if you could achieve it, what is the point of the so-called economic Igbo land, economic Biafra land, if you have no freedom?
How can you achieve economic Igbo land? Let us build Igbo land like Dubai, when you know that Fulanis has a different agenda. Fulanis has a different agenda. Building Biafran land like Dubai is Aburi Accord, which has been rejected by the Fulanis a long time ago. All the people who is trying to make Biafran land a better place, all of them were removed out of power, and many of them were killed. Now, what do you think you can do when you know that the people who is working with you are in the favor of Fulanis, and the other people who is struggling to make sure that you get freedom, they are the ones calling you and letting you know that the way you think, by calling them stupid, they're calling them all manner of name and insulting them, this can never help you. The only thing that can help you
British cabinet members, the criminal lobbyists that are parading with them in the name of trying to restore Biafra. Biafrans already stopped them on their track. That is why they don't go. They can't move anywhere. Not when some, not when some of us are. Ex-British cabinet members, the
You know why we are bringing it this way? We are bringing it this way for many of you to know. And if you have not been able to be figuring out what is happening, sorry is your own name, because your own brain might not be functioning. And the people she is talking about and insulting every now and then are the people who is now.
During his first trip to Africa, Secretary of State Antony Blinken stopped in Nigeria and met with then-President Muhammadu Buhari. What came next was a betrayal of religious freedom, as Buhari, who came to prominence for his role killing Christians and animists during the 1967 to 1970 Biafra genocide, again turned to fanning sectarian violence. Blinken removed Nigeria from the State Department's Religious Freedom Watch list. For Blinken, a warm handshake and photo opportunity was more important than defending religious freedom.
Now, many of you that is understanding what is happening and the many that is not understanding what is happening, bringing Nigeria back to CPC, countries that persecute Christians, is one of the greatest achievements. And who made it possible? Elias Geresoles.
Having a fancy hotel or these Biafran businesses or having a lot of money matter when the Islamic fundamentalist authorities in Biafra land, once Biafra is under Sharia, seize you for minor infraction and decide to cut off your hand? I'm serious about this. There is a misconception that
they know the agenda of the Islam. They know it. Cutting off your hands. This is their own way. It is their own law accepted it. So if these Fulanis finally survive and they succeed in taking over, no matter what they kill in Nigeria, cutting everybody's hand, nobody will call them for questioning. The only time you have is now. When international powers that rule the world, their eye is on the ball to know if Biafrans will come together and say, help us. According to Dr. Dog, in Finland, he told Biafrans, if you people need freedom, come together and make sure you come to Washington, D.C., present your case, then they will know how to help you. We continue.
Those in the Biafra independence movement are somehow idealists or we're delusional. No, those who are part of the Biafran independence movement are the realistic ones. It's the opposite of what you think it is. It is the Biafra one Nigerianists who are unrealistic and
Biafran one Nigerianists are the unrealistic people, the people who is calling the lobby
completely delusional. Completely delusional. I watch these Biafran one Nigerians closely, and I watch all Biafrans closely with my eye. Even if I don't say anything, I watch everything and everyone closely. And so when I watch these Biafran one Nigerianists, I see you loving to take photos of yourself at the Nollywood party, or this fancy thing, that fancy thing, getting dressed up in Biafran attire, showing off yourselves, you know, floating here, floating there. You people need a reality check. You guys need to, and to use an American phrase, wake up and smell the coffee. Because this is ridiculous. You need to wake up from your superficial self-obsession and realize you are in danger, as much danger as all other Biafrans.
You must realize that you are in a high danger. Top one. If you don't know what it means, if you don't know what it means that your life doesn't matter, if you don't know what it means, that is what we are showing you. That one cow is more important than you. One single cow. You don't know the danger you are into. You do not know the kind of danger that is facing you, and nobody will come
and join the Biafran independence movement and what we are doing. That's the first point. Secondly, the second reason why some of these Biafran one Nigerians are not supporting what we're doing, frankly, selfishness. They think consciously or even subconsciously, not realizing what they're thinking, because they have not been personally affected by what is going on, that they are somehow immune.
Because a lot of people, he gave instances here. You people will remember that we have some people like Philippe Magwale in America. We have a lot of professors in America, in Britain, in Canada, in Australia, the people who knows how to get the freedom and give it to us. But their own personal families has not been affected directly. That's why they are not speaking. And anything he is saying, all the people inside Washington, D.C. is listening to whatever he is saying. You remember that the day the information minister, Sona Barawa, and our acting prime minister, Ogenkere, invited him to come, they asked him, all the insults you receive from the so-called Biafran one Nigerians, led by Ngozi Orabweze, How do you feel about it? He said that it made him to become stronger, to think far. And the thinking far made him to be coming out with this way you are watching now. A lot of people want Biafra to be free, but their family have not been affected. They paid the Nigerian government to be protecting them. That's why they are not supporting Biafra. And everything is being recorded. We continue. Everything is being recorded inside Washington, D.C.
From all of this, and don't have to be part of the Biafran cause. Let me share with you two personal stories or anecdotes. One of our Biafran sisters who was part of the struggle, who I will not mention by name, had tried to convince a Biafran friend of hers to join the Biafran independence movement. Her friend was always dismissive, always negative. Then one day, her friend's family member was killed, cut to pieces.
One person he know very, very well. He said he will not mention his name. A woman. And this person is somebody that have power inside Washington, D.C., just like Ngozi Okonjo in Africa. When they talk about Biafra, they will say, oh, don't mind those noise makers. Until the family member has been affected, they cut them, the family member, in pieces. Listen now.
By Fulani herders in Biafra land. And after this murder, she changed her mind and asked to get involved in the Biafran struggle. I have a second story. Another member of the Biafran struggle had a highly educated doctor that she went to. She showed this doctor an article about killings of Biafrans in his own village by these Fulani herders. And his response, shockingly, was that he didn't care because his relatives were not killed. What I want to say to those who don't care is that even if you have not been directly affected, even if your relatives have not been killed, at some point they will be in danger.
At some point, even if your own family has not been directly affected by the Fulani, even if your own family has not been molested by the Fulani, one day, this is a fact, a predictable fact. Everybody is suffering it today. If you see what is happening in Edo State now, you can see that even the population of the Fulanis in Edo is overpowering the citizens in Edo State. Their population, the population of the Fulanis now has increased mightily. You can see them in their protest. You see them in their protest. See how many are them? Their number are now increasing, overpowering the citizens, the indigenous of Edo. Then how are they going to do it? One way and the another, they will be affected.
So you should support the Biafran independence movement. You don't have to learn the hard way after one of your relatives gets murdered by one of the terrorists or the Fulani herders or so forth to join what we're doing. Be sensible. You don't have to learn the hard way. And I just want to end by saying I'm not speaking harshly to be critical, but to help you save you from yourselves. I want the Biafran One Nigerianists who are listening to this broadcast.
But to help you save yourself,
to carefully consider what I'm saying for your own benefit and salvation. And also, I want everyone else to listen to what I'm saying, to reflect on it in their own self-reflections. So I will be continuing upon the topics that have been highlighted in these first two episodes, and I look forward to speaking to you in my third episode, which will build upon the existing themes that I've talked about. Thank you.
Now, Biafrans, it is only someone who is serving under divine providence.
Good evening, wonderful people, Biafra.
will dedicate this kind of time for you. And we are about to close. We already spent 1 hour because of shadows. He met international communities, and what the international communities are doing is what we want to do now. We will bring it again here, where the international communities are now talking about Biafra. They are now seriously discussing about Biafra, led by the Bridge Ogenkere as the acting prime minister.
Biafra genocide again turned to fanning sectarian violence. Blinken removed Nigeria from the State Department's Religious Freedom Watch list. For Blinken, a warm handshake and photo opportunity was more important than defending religious freedom. Not surprisingly, Nigeria then began accelerating its anti-Christian pogroms. Secretary of State Marco Rubio works not only in President Donald Trump's but also in envoy Steve Witkoff's shadow. At best, he is the B-team on crafting foreign policy. Still, even if the Trump's treatment of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky humiliated Rubio, he can still salvage his legacy by returning religious freedom to the central framework with which U.S. diplomats shape policy. Here, Nigeria should be a case in point. The country is diverse. It is slightly over half Muslim, 1/3 Protestant, and 1/10 Roman Catholic. Over the years, both Christians and Muslims have served as president, although for the last decade, the post has been exclusively Muslim. Religion is not determinative, but in the case of both Buhari and his successor Bola Tinubu, their religious embrace is more exclusionary and discriminatory. While Buhari targeted Christians and turned a blind eye both to Boko Haram in northern Nigeria and Fulani militias terrorizing Christians in the country's southeast, it was Tinubu who crafted the policies and ensured party discipline as the communal violence accelerated. Blinken's strategy was to ignore the plight of the Christians and to pretend there was no crisis of religious freedom, despite near-daily reports of Boko Haram terrorism or slaughter of Igbo. Nigerian authorities viewed him as a clown and accelerated their repression. Rubio should take a different tack. If Nigeria is becoming a structure used to target minorities and repress religious freedom, then the policy of the United States should be to question whether Nigeria's current structure is the solution or the problem. While Nigeria won its independence from the British 65 years ago, decolonization is not complete because it preserved Nigeria itself as a colonial vestige. Rather than ignore the slow but imminent demise of Nigeria's Christian under the current regime, Rubio should make clear, if Nigeria is unable to treat its citizens equally and allow them to worship freely, then the United States will approach Nigeria as if it is a colonial power and support its decolonization. Specifically, the United States should begin direct outreach to Biafra.
Specifically, the United States should begin to direct the outreach to Biafra. The breakaway region, subjection, and the genocide more than a half century ago that again declared its independence in November. Now, those of you who doesn't understand and those who is just joining this program, listen on how the game started. That the leader of the lobby said,
Biafra. For those who may not know, I'm Elias Gerasulis, the international lobbyist for the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Nakere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world, to those in positions of power, especially in this great country, the United States of America.
I minister the gospel of Biafra to the powerful people of the world, those in the seat of power, especially here in the United States of America. And what do you hear now from the people in power of the world? Those inside Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill.
The breakaway region subject to genocide more than a half-century ago that again declared its independence in November 2024. This likely would not be immediate. But the United States could support observer missions to document the safety of Biafrans and also sponsor a plebiscite.
Okay. Now, this likely would not be immediate, but the United States should support observe missions to document the safety of Biafrans and also sponsor a plebiscite, not like that which confirmed Biafran's desire since 55 years ago to be an independent country rather than to join Iran as the Sahel at the time of demand. You get it? Here now you see it, how international communities is fighting and bringing Biafran matter on the table so that international communities will come for the rescue of the Christians.
Missions to document the safety of Biafrans and also sponsor a plebiscite. Not unlike that which confirmed Bahrain's desire 55 years ago to be an independent country rather than join Iran as the Shah at the time demanded. Trump refuses to allow artificial diplomatic constraints.
Trump refuses to allow artificial diplomatic constraints. Confirm him, Rubio should not allow them to be a cause for the eradication of what was one in Africa's most vibrant Christian communities. That thing they used to say that Nigeria is the most populated place in Africa. They're supposed to, the only place they found the large population of black man in this world, that they should keep it as one. Rubio should not allow such to happen. And if you look up here, you will see our APM with Rubio, with also the Biafran Minister of Foreign Affairs. You will see him there. And the person who is speaking is the same person who told Finland, do not use because of what you will gain from Nigeria to and betray the name of a freedom of a free country in Europe, which they have given Finland award. That if Finland will take oil to arrest our prime minister and jail him, that Finland will go back to a country that persecute Christian. And who says so? Marco Ruben. You get what we are talking? Now we continue to what they are saying. It is better everybody know. It is no matter of who can insult more or who can abuse more.
Iran as the Shah at the time demanded. Trump refuses to allow artificial diplomatic constraints confine him. Rubio should not allow them to be a cause for the eradication of what once was one of Africa's most vibrant Christian communities, but one that is today under threat.
Their life, the Christian life in Nigeria is under threat, completely under threat. And the Rubio is the person now that he represents the Secretary of United States of America that replaced Anthony Blinken. And that's why all this news is coming. The reason you are reading all this news online today is because of what our
It is time to give Nigeria an ultimatum. end attacks on Christians, or lose default support for Nigeria as a unified entity.
It's not a matter of who can accuse more and who can insult more.
Rubio should not allow them to be a cause for the eradication of what once was one of Africa's most vibrant Christian communities, but one that is today under threat. It is time to give Nigeria an ultimatum. End attacks on Christians or lose default support for Nigeria as a unified entity.
Now, it is time to give Nigeria an ultimatum. End the attack on Christians or lose the default support for Nigeria as unified entity. Here, the game started. It is better for you to know what you are fighting for. It is better for you to know the root of your problem. It is better for you to know your value as someone who found himself inside the territory of Nigeria. And it is better for you to know those who is working against your own freedom. And it is better for you to also understand how the information is getting to the man. How the information is getting to him. All the people the leader of the lobbies has met. All the people he has met are the people who is speaking for you. The people in
the Republic government in exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Nakere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world, to those in positions of power, especially in this great country, the United States of America. This is my second broadcast.
So, Biafrans,
to follow up on my first broadcast, where I discussed the need of a Republic government in exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Nakere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world, to those in positions of power, especially in this great country, the United States of America.
Did you see the message or you didn't see it? If you say you didn't see it, I have shown it to you. If you have seen it, it is better for you to know the next thing to do. Our PM says the next thing in line is to defend Biafran land, nothing more. Defend the Biafran land and Biafran land. Work with Biafran defense forces. And those outside should do the needful unto international recognition. And our message has gotten to the powerful people of this world. When we are talking about the powerful people of this world, all the rulers of this world, they are well informed of our request. Putin is aware. David Cameron is aware. Theodore of Canada is aware. Every leader in this world is aware. You remember when Tinubu called the Chancellor of Germany to help him arrest our PM? The Chancellor of Germany told him that you are dealing with some people's prime minister. Go and settle with him. Powers of the world, in case you do not know what it means by powers of the world, rulers of this world. That is what he is telling you. And defend your land. The last message our PM dropped.
Good evening, wonderful people Biafra.
Defend your land.
For those who may not know, I'm Elijah Sulis, the international lobbyist for the Biafra Republic government in exile, represented by His Excellency Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister in detention, and Mr. Ogochukwu Nakere, Acting Prime Minister. I minister the gospel of Biafra to the most powerful people in the world, to those in positions of power, especially in this great country, the United States of America.
You have heard it. So, fellow Biafrans, because of our time, this is where we have to leave the message. Share the message. Those who did not watch it live will watch it and hit the like button. So it will be recommended to those who didn't watch it. Here, we bring all the evidences, no trick, and everything is playing right in front of you. You are hearing some bloggers now talking that America is coming to save Christians in Nigeria. Some people are making it to be possible. And you can see the picture here. You can see the image here. You can see all the things we are showing you here. And the Nigerian government already wrote it. You understand? Which other way do you think you have to get it right? You have no other way to get it right. All the lawmakers, powerful people of this world, they are with the Biafra. It's left for you to do the needful. So, lovely Biafrans, good day from here as we return back to our job. We have this break now. Thank you.